This month of October feels somewhat of a mixed bag of energy. We're starting off the month with a Mercury Cazimi happening in the sign of Libra. Then not only 2 days later are we going to be experiencing the annual solar eclipse happening in the sign of Libra. This eclipse looks quite nice. It definitely doesn't look as challenging as maybe the last solar eclipse that we had, but it is still going to be quite potent and powerful and will likely show up for us tangibly next year. We're going to be revisiting some themes here next year, so pay attention to whatever is coming up around the time of the solar eclipse, as it's probably going to play out over the next 6 months, especially into the beginning of next year. Then not long after that, we have Jupiter stationing retrograde in the sign of Gemini, an energy we haven't experienced for a while. We might be feeling like our luck is starting to slow down a little bit, or things are starting to feel like a little bit of a roadblock, or something is not moving as quickly as we were hoping it would. That same week, Pluto will station direct in the sign of Capricorn for the last time in our lifetime. So this energy will feel quite intense. It will then start building up speed to move back into the sign of Aquarius, where it will remain for the next 20 years towards the end of this year. Then towards the end of the month, we will have a potent and intense full moon in Aries, which will probably be quite triggering. There's a lot of Mars energy happening around the time of this full moon. We'll also have a lot of Scorpionic energy this month with Mercury and the Sun moving into the sign of Scorpio, really kicking off spooky season. So if you'd like to understand where this energy is happening in your chart based on your rising sign, keep on watching. Hi friends, and if you're new here, my name is Alex. I'm an astrologer based in Aotearoa, New Zealand, and welcome back to all my wonderful subscribers who tune in each week to see where this energy will be happening for you based on your rising sign. If you'd like to connect with me, you can find me over on Instagram at Venus in Virgo Astrology, and also over on my website www.venusinvirgoastrology.com, where you can book in a one-to-one reading with me. I have a wide array of digital reading offers where you can check out over on my website. But without further ado, let's get into this month's energy ahead. So kicking off the start of this month, we have a Mercury Cazimi happening in the sign of Libra. I feel like this Mercury Cazimi is going to be quite a prominent energy, especially with the eclipse happening only 2 days after. So obviously what a Cazimi means is it means that there is a planet which is within a 5-degree orb, or a 5-minute orb, which is more specific when it comes to a Cazimi with the sun, and it highlights and emphasizes the energy of that planet and the sign that it's in. So for example, this Cazimi of Mercury and the sun in the sign of Libra is really going to be amplifying and intensifying. The South Node's also not too far off this Cazimi too, so there's maybe going to be some themes of finally having conversations where we're ready to let go or move on from relationships. Maybe we're ready to have those tough conversations. Maybe we're receiving insight and downloads to do with whatever house that Libra rules in our chart, which we'll touch on in the next bit of the video. But this Mercury Cazimi is likely going to be providing us with a necessary information or necessary background or further context to maybe conversations that we're needing to have, projects we're working on, or maybe just something to do with we're learning or studying. Maybe we're receiving something or understanding something in a way through a perspective that we haven't been available or privy to before. The sign of Libra is all about balance and bringing harmony to our conversations or our relationships. So maybe these conversations that we're having are able to bring more harmony and balance into our relationships and friendships in our life, or maybe we're able to maybe look at balancing our finances in a way that we hadn't looked at before, or maybe feel like we can tackle these with more of a positive or broader mindset, or maybe we're finally ready to let go of something that has been holding us back, to do with wherever Libra rules in our chart. Then on the 3rd of October, we have the annual solar eclipse happening in the sign of Libra. So this annual solar eclipse will be happening at 10 degrees and 4 minutes of Libra. So what is annual solar eclipse? Every year we will have a solar eclipse, which is basically just a new moon in conjunction with the south node or the north node. But this eclipse it is conjunct the South Node, the collective South Node in Libra. At the time of this annual solar eclipse, we have a lot of Libra energy happening. Obviously, we just talked about the Mercury Cazimi, which is still going to be quite prominent and quite present around the time of this annual solar eclipse. So we have all of this Libra energy. We have this energy of balancing and bringing harmony to our relationships. Maybe we're receiving or wanting to start something new. We're ready to really plant the seeds and have those conversations around relationships or an area in our life that we're wanting to move forward or let go of in order to move forward, to really plant those seeds of intuition that will start to be shown to us and tangibly manifest early next year and over the next 6 months, to really show up in our lives in a way that is positive and powerful. It might not feel positive in the beginning, but it is likely going to provide a positive opportunity for us to move forward and us to really take action on what it is that we're wanting to achieve. At the time of the solar eclipse, we have a potent grand water trine between Mars in Cancer, Venus in Scorpio, and Saturn retrograde in Pisces. This is involving obviously both of our malefic planets. Saturn is retrograde still, so it is still potent, but it is a retrograde energy, so maybe it's a little bit more subtle, but it's also involving one of our benefics. So obviously any aspects to one of our benefics, especially when it comes to Venus, even though it is involving more challenging planets, it is going to feel a little bit more positive than if it wasn't involving Venus. So this grand water trine is likely helping us to really connect deeply with our emotions in a way that feels intimate, that feels private, that feels a way we're able to maybe break down the walls of that if we've been wanting to break down or let sort of dissolve in a way. Maybe we're feeling like we can finally take that positive step or that positive action around a relationship or an area or of ourselves, or maybe we're tuning into our intuition. Maybe we've been working on our boundaries and putting boundaries in place, and we're able to understand why we've needed to do this in order to have that emotional and spiritual protection on ourselves. Maybe we're receiving the insights and understanding of why we've needed to do that and how we're feeling from that. That is because we have had Saturn in the sign of Pisces for a while now, which is all about setting boundaries. Saturn is about restriction, about setting a foundation for the long-term success. So Pisces is a sign that is notoriously infamous for not having boundaries. So with Saturn in Pisces, it is about having those emotional and spiritual boundaries. Maybe we're needing to reset these or look at where we're needing to set more of a boundary in with Saturn, then moving direct later on. So maybe we were taking stock of how far we've come and how far forward we do still need to go. But this is a positive energy. It seems like we're maybe feeling motivated or inspired to take positive action around our goals, our intuition. Maybe we're really leaning into things that we are seeing that are happening around us. Those insights and downloads that we've had, maybe from that Mercury Cazimi, we've had those downloads come through to us. We've had that insight or been privy to that information that we hadn't had before, and we're ready to finally take that positive action on implementing this knowledge into our lives in some way. I feel like this is a really nice positive energy for this eclipse. The only really challenging energy is still the square of the eclipse to Mars in Cancer. So obviously Mars is involved in two very prominent aspects. It's involved in that grand water trine, and it's also involved in a square to the eclipse. So this is going to feel triggering, and I feel like this trigger that is coming up for us right now is going to be highlighted again at the time of the full moon later this month, because this is when the square is going to become really exact and really strong. So whatever is coming up now is likely going to be really triggered and really activated at the time of the full moon later this month. So pay attention to what things we need to separate or remove ourselves from. Maybe we're having conversations that are sort of grinding on our gears, are sort of activating or triggering some need to maybe protect ourselves and our emotional state in some way. Maybe this energy is, like I said, breaking down those walls, breaking down that shell that we've maybe put around ourselves emotionally. With Mars being in Cancer, maybe we're needing to dissolve that or break that down in some way in order to let go of an area in our lives, in order to separate ourselves from something that has maybe emotionally been holding us back or feeling stagnant in some way. Maybe really to sort of sever that emotional tie that we've been needing to, that is kind of outdated in a way. At the time of the eclipse, Uranus will be making a sextile to Neptune that will be part of forming a mini grand trine to Pluto and Neptune in Pisces. So Pluto in Capricorn and Neptune in Pisces. So this energy has been prominent for a while. It is our outer planets, but we may be feeling inspired and creative to really listen and take note of and put action and steps into place for these things that we're needing to purge from our life, these things that we're needing to dissolve or resolve in some way. The veil is no longer there. We're able to see through the mud, see through the clutter in order to make that intense, potent, powerful, transformative change in our life that could be setting us on a path that feels quite radical, quite unexpected, and maybe quite inspiring in some way. We're ready to really put ourselves out there in a way that maybe we haven't been before. This is also because Jupiter, who's going to be stationing retrograde very soon, is making a really nice sextile to the North Node. So we may be feeling inspired to take these steps, take this action that we've needed to take that will help us sort of grow and expand our mindset, our horizons, our specifically mindset with Jupiter and Gemini. We're maybe ready to really take action on those ideas, or just feeling bold in the way we communicate and express ourselves and going after what it is we want to achieve. So all up, this eclipse I feel like is the starting point. We've really had these eclipses happening over the last 18-ish months. The nodes are going to be shifting soon, so we're kind of at that wrapping up point when it comes to these eclipses. These are sort of like the final eclipses that are happening in the sign of Libra and Aries, which are then going to be moving into the signs of Pisces and Virgo, which we had a taste for last month. So I feel like this new moon is maybe we've shed a lot of energy over the last year. We're ready to know, maybe plant these seeds of intuition and these seeds of positive, potent and powerful transformation and change, ready to usher us into this next phase of our life, into this next new energy, which next year, 2025 and 2026, will be bringing through a huge change and shift in energy with some really potent outer planet transits, outer planet ingresses into new signs, which will really shift and sort of things right now, the way things are feeling right now, will not be feeling the same way this time next year, that's for sure. So this is the beginning of that. So pay attention to what you want to achieve, what you want to set into motion. And this is a great eclipse where you might be able to see where you can take those actions and steps you want to take. Obviously, with all eclipses, we do recommend holding off any manifesting or things like that, because things can go a little bit haywire, because eclipse energy is erratic and unexpected at the best of times. So just a note on that in case you were thinking of putting any manifestations into action. But again, do what feels right for you in or around the time of this solar eclipse in Libra. On the 5th of October, we have Venus in Scorpio trining Saturn retrograde in Pisces. So this again is a carry on of the energy that we were feeling around the time of the annual solar eclipse in Libra, which we touched on with that grand water trine. So this energy is maybe helping us revisit or understand maybe some financial goals or things that we've been working on. How far have we come? How far have we got to go? Are we ready to maybe take a serious but positive look at maybe the boundaries that we've set in our lives? Are we ready to maybe revisit that? How are we feeling within ourselves? How are we feeling within our intimacy and our connection to our finances or relationships in our life? Are there areas in which we need to maybe go a bit deeper or let people in? Maybe we're able to remove that guard that we've had up, especially around relationships in our life, that we're able to find that connection or that intimacy or that deeper sense of oneness with people around us, especially leading them into maybe our emotional intimacy or our deeper parts of ourselves that maybe we haven't been ready to before. And on the 6th of October, we have Mercury in Libra squaring Mars in Cancer. So that nice energy that we were feeling with Mercury can join the sun. This is going to be a triggering, challenging day. So conversations or ways we're connecting with people, if you're driving about in the world or if you're just about in the world in general, just be cautious around this date. This is a challenging energy. Anything to do with Mars obviously is going to be quick, intense, potent and challenging. And then with Mercury just coming out of its Cazimi, it's been burnt by the sun, it's a little bit debilitated in its energy following the Cazimi. So just be cautious if you are sort of having important conversations, or if you're feeling like you're just mentally just challenged or overstimulated in some way. This could likely be that energy of Mercury squaring Mars in Cancer. So just be cautious around this date and following into next week. Then on the 8th of October, we have Venus in Scorpio trining Mars in Cancer. So we had this energy again. We talked about this within the grand water trine at the time of the annual solar eclipse. But this is a nice energy for connecting with people intimately. It's connecting with our finances in a way that feels inspiring to maybe take some passionate action around securing things. Maybe we're working on securing a loan for land or home, or investing in our home in some way. So this is a positive energy. Obviously there's more than this, just as energy happening right now, so just be cautious if you are sort of going about and doing things that it could be a little challenging still, because we do have that Mercury square Mars happening at the same time. So this energy could just be nice to really feel a bit more passionate and a bit more inspired to take action on things that light us up. Then on the 9th of October, we have Jupiter stationing retrograde at 21 degrees and 20 minutes of Gemini. So again, like I mentioned earlier in the video, we're likely feeling like our luck is starting to slow down a little bit. Maybe those ideas or those projects that we've put into place, or those plans that we're putting into motion, maybe we have some travel that's coming up. This might feel like it's slowing down a little bit. We might still be feeling as lucky as we normally are. So with Jupiter retrogrades, it's like our luck has slowed down. So just to be conscious of this, if you're feeling a little bit unlucky or feeling a little bit stagnant, this will pass when Jupiter starts going direct again. But at this time, Jupiter is going to be retrograde. So just to be cautious when you're making plans or things like that. Things might change, or they might take a little bit slower to get off the ground and get going. And on the 9th of October, we have Mercury in Libra trining Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. So we maybe feel like we're wanting to really put our ideas and plans out there into the world. Maybe we're feeling like we're inspired to take that action that was coming up for us around the time of the Cazimi, but things are feeling like they're not either accepted or not either received in a way that feels positive and feels exciting or inspiring. So again, feeling like our ideas are not being accepted, or not going or flowing, or being picked up as quickly as they normally would. So just to be cautious of this. Obviously a trine is still positive, so maybe we're making slow and steady pace, or slow and steady things. Maybe we're receiving insights or opportunities that weren't available to us before. Things are slowing down, so we're maybe having the opportunity to slow down and pick things that we're wanting to do, or have the opportunity to apply or do things that we're wanting to do that we haven't been able to do before. Then on the 12th of October, Pluto will station direct in Capricorn at 29 degrees and 39 minutes. So again, this is the last time that we will have Pluto stationing direct in Capricorn in our lifetime. So we might feel this quite intensely, especially if you have prominent Capricorn personal placements or prominent Cancer placements, so you may feel this energy quite potently, but this Pluto station direct, it will be just really highlighting and emphasizing those things that have come up for us that we're ready to finally put away, put to bed, get rid of, purge, remove from our lives in order to move into this next phase when Pluto moves back into Capricorn later this year. So the 12th will be quite an intense day into the 13th and 14th, and obviously for the remainder of this month as Pluto starts to build up momentum again and move out of Capricorn. Then on the 14th of October, this is quite a busy day, so we have Mercury in Libra squaring Pluto in Capricorn. So maybe these ideas or conversations that we're needing to have are quite intense, quite potent, and quite triggering. Maybe we're receiving news that feels quite triggering to us. Maybe we're talking about or communicating or having those conversations that are triggering to others, or maybe we're just feeling mentally quite triggered and quite stimulated around this date. So just to be cautious, this is going to be quite a challenging energy, but it is a great energy for overcoming any challenges that have presented themselves while Pluto has been back in Capricorn, to really like cut ties and overcome this challenge that we're really needing to. We can't hide from it anymore. Now's the time to face it head on. Also on the 14th, we have the Sun in Libra trining Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. So again, another positive energy from the Sun in Libra to Gemini. So maybe we're feeling inspired to express ourselves in a way that we haven't been able to before. With Jupiter in retrograde, maybe we're feeling like we can look at things on an internal level. Maybe we're feeling more gratitude than than normal. Maybe we're feeling that we can look at things in a way that this feels inspiring to me, that I hadn't really looked at this part of my life, that now I'm like, hey, this is actually working out for me. How can I work on this more? How can I lean into this energy in my life? And what I would say, we're feeling a lot more grateful for what we have in our life rather than what we want in our life, sort of looking at the good things that are happening for us rather than looking at the things that aren't working so well around the time of the 14th. Also on the 14th, at that same time, we have the Sun and Libra squaring Mars in Cancer. So this is maybe likely the catalyst as to why we're feeling that gratitude. Maybe we're feeling triggered and challenged of things that we're wanting to achieve, but we can't quite get there. Something is a bit of a roadblock, or is holding us back, or is like aggravating us in some way. But then we're like, on the other hand, hey, I'm so grateful for what I have and what I have achieved so far. Very much that duality with Libra. Libra obviously is an energy of seeing both sides, understanding and balancing the scales. So on one hand, we have things that aren't working out, that are triggering and challenging for us. But then on the other hand, we're like, hey, these things have worked. This is what I've been really lucky in achieving this year. So it's like both. It's like swings and roundabouts. Then also on the 14th, we then have Mercury moving into Scorpio. So Mercury in Scorpio is a wonderful energy for researching. If you have your natal Mercury in Scorpio, you're likely someone who is brilliant at being a bit of a private investigator in your own way. People likely will come to you to find out things maybe about someone that they're wanting to do a bit of stalking or digging on. But Mercury in Scorpio is a wonderful energy if you're needing to do any research on things, if you really want to get to the bottom of things, if you're really just wanting to just look at things in a way that is a bit more, you're looking past the physical and what can be seen and looking at more what isn't said and what isn't seen. So this is a wonderful energy to do that. So if you're wanting to invest time into maybe researching things that feel quite intense or are quite intense, or topics that are intense, this is a nice energy if you're wanting to research anything that has more of a spiritual energy, that has more of a mystical energy. Mercury in Scorpio is a lovely transit to do that, and it's also a wonderful energy to have those conversations that feel deep and intimate and connect with people in a way that's more deeper and more open and more raw. You're able to really connect with people in a way that maybe wasn't so surface level with Mercury in Libra. This is kind of going that next deeper layer, really investing in conversations and people and situations and projects that provide a lot more depth and more richness into your life than more of a surface level understanding. Then on the 15th of October, Venus in Scorpio opposes Uranus retrograde in Taurus. So this could be a bit of a challenging or triggering energy, where maybe could be feeling some ebbs and flows or some challenging understanding or situations to do with our finances or relationships. This could feel like the boat is being rocked in some way. We're maybe receiving some information or some insights into things that we hadn't been looking at or understanding before. We're maybe just looking at things are feeling just really erratic and really challenging in some way. Obviously with Venus, it's still a positive. So these things or situations or feelings could be coming up for us to look at these dualities in our life and how we can balance this energy and bring this energy into harmony. But then on the 16th, Venus in Scorpio will trine Neptune retrograde in Pisces. So this is a really nice energy for maybe those rose-colored glasses or that rose-colored energy to do with our finances or relationships, or we're able to see through that maybe infatuation energy, and we can see that really that depth within our partnerships or within our relationships in our life. We're maybe feeling like we're able to tune into the creativity or the spiritual energy around our relationships. Things are just feeling like they're a bit more creatively inspired, or just a lot more like connecting with maybe the collective in general, connecting with those around us. We may be feeling inspired to maybe invest in relationships or situations that give back for the greater good, that are sort of more involved in helping or assisting others in some way, but there is some sort of creative and inspirational energy around the 16th. This is a nice energy if you're wanting to be creative, literally painting, writing, singing. This is a really nice energy for investing in the arts of some kind. If you're wanting to invest in maybe creating art or buying art, this is a nice energy for that. On the 18th of October, we have a few things happening. We have Venus in Scorpio sextiling Pluto in Capricorn. This is that final energy of that, because obviously we're not going to have this transit again in our lifetime. So maybe we're feeling inspired to take positive action around those triggers or challenges that were coming up for us. We're maybe ready to invest in things that will help us, heal us, or assist us in moving on from that challenge in our life in some way. We're ready to put that energy behind us and really move into this next phase of our lives. Then on the 18th, we have our full moon in Aries, which is happening at 24 degrees and 35 minutes of Aries. So this full moon is the first full moon in Aries following the eclipses that we've had here. So this is likely bringing up to a head any challenges or situations that have felt quite triggering for us over these past few months with the eclipses happening on this axis of Libra and Aries. So at the time of this full moon, obviously we have that strong T-square happening to Mars in Cancer, which I touched on a little bit earlier when we looked at the annual solar eclipse happening in Libra. So this T-square is maybe feeling really triggering and challenging and really activating some sort of area in our life that we could be feeling like we're lacking, that we could be feeling like we're not taking enough action around, that we could be feeling uninspired or just emotionally drained or just triggered, or we're just feeling totally overwhelmed and inflamed in some way. Something is coming up around the time of this full moon to really trigger us, especially to do with Pluto and Capricorn. This energy is also forming a bit of a T-square to Pluto and Capricorn. So there is this grand cross energy happening with this T-square to Mars and then the T-square to Pluto. Something big and catastrophic could be happening around the time of this full moon collectively. We could be seeing some sort of massive event come to a head. We could be seeing this sort of something is coming and overflowing with energy around the time of this full moon. Something is just really potently coming to the surface, whether in our personal lives or as a collective. We're obviously always feeling this energy as a collective, but something for us personally might be happening, or we might just be observing the energy that is happening around us. People are feeling like we're triggered, angry, just energy is an all-time high around this full moon. As with full moons, energy is always an all-time high. That is why we have the word lunatic. This is to do with the full moon. So just be cautious when you're out and about in the world. This full moon is going to be triggering, potent, and challenging. Also at the time of this full moon, we do have that Venus opposing Uranus still active, which we talked about earlier. We have some nice energy happening with Jupiter trining the Sun still and sextiling the North Node and Chiron, but Jupiter is retrograde. So obviously this energy, which would likely providing a bit of a safety net or just a positive energy for this challenging energy happening right now, but it is retrograde. So it's a little bit slowed down. It's a little bit less potent than it normally would be. So again, I feel like this full moon is going to be quite a potent time for some intense change or transformation that will be coming up to the surface, that needs to be observed, that needs to be looked at in order for us to move on and transform this area of our lives, whether we like it or not. So just be cautious when navigating the world around the time of this full moon, because things are going to be quite potent. Also around the time of this full moon, we do have Neptune retrograde in Pisces forming a trine to Mars in Cancer. So I do like this energy, but at the same time, I do feel like this could be providing that maybe level of illusion, or there's some sort of like illusion energy. Maybe we're not quite seeing things as they are, or maybe we are seeing things as they are. Like literally things are being laid out for us. That's why it's so challenging. That's why it's so triggering. That's why things are literally coming to a head right now, because of this energy is, although positive, could be providing this sense of, I finally see it, I finally understand it. And this is why this is so challenging. So just to be cautious, this full moon it does look just quite intense, quite potent, quite powerful. I wouldn't be making any drastic changes or doing things around the time of this full moon. Great full moon for purging and releasing. So if you're wanting to purge some energy that has been stagnant, that you're ready to really let go of energy, that you're like, I've finally moved on from this situation, a wonderful full moon for literally doing any like cutting cord ceremonies or just really releasing things that have been holding you back. Full moons are a wonderful time of releasing things. Things have come to culmination. You're ready to let that go. Obviously, new moons are a time of surrender, but if full moons are a time of releasing, full moons are a time of culmination. You finally hit that end point. You're ready to let it go and move on. Time to look at new things and call new energy into our lives. So a full moon is a wonderful time to just release things, but bring them to a culmination point at the same time. Also on the 18th of October, we have Venus moving into the sign of Sagittarius. Venus in Sagittarius is love without boundaries, love without walls, love without just judgment, really. Venus in Sagittarius needs freedom to express its energy. So if you have your natal Venus in Sagittarius, this is your Venus return, so a new 1 year cycle for you. You are someone who likely knows this energy quite well. Venus in Sagittarius enjoys the freedom and ability to just connect with people from all walks of life, to not really feel tied down or settled, restless feet when it comes to finding or settling in a situation or place, or even with a person. You might find that you do need that freedom to express yourself, and you do need that ability to just up and leave or do things when you want to do them and not feel held back. Financially, you need to be able to have that freedom, to have that financial freedom, to have that ability to just make that space in your life to go after things that inspire you or help broaden your mindset or your connection with others in a way that feels inspiring, that feels invigorating for you. It's a very passionate sign of Venus in Sagittarius. It's obviously a sign that's ruled by Jupiter, so you may be feeling expansive and just ready to really provide that love and attention to those that you really want to give that energy to, or you might be feeling inspired to make financial investments that help you feel like you can grow or expand your mindset in some way. So this is a nice transit to invest in people, situations, or yourself in a way that helps you feel expansive or able to just really broaden your mindset in a way that maybe wasn't an energy available to you before, but helps you just really get out of your comfort zone and get out of your own way to achieve what you want to achieve, or to meet people that you maybe wouldn't have had the ability or opportunity to meet before. Also a wonderful transit to invest in travel, especially overseas travel. So if you have any overseas trips coming up, I love this energy for you. Then on the 22nd of October, we have Mercury in Scorpio trining Saturn retrograde in Pisces. So maybe the conversations or ideas or situations happening for us right now are important for the long term. Maybe we're ready to revisit those boundaries and put them into place and maybe speak them into existence. We're ready to maybe have conversations that are a bit more of a serious nature, but do feel quite good. Like they're like, finally this conversation or this situation needs to happen, but it's for the greater good. It's for my long-term success. It's for the boundaries that I need to revisit and maybe put up, or it's maybe time to revisit what I've been putting into my life, or this restriction I've had on my life in some way. Is it time to remove that, and it's time to move on from that? The 23rd of October, we have the Sun in Libra squaring Pluto in Capricorn. This energy was kind of a little bit potent at the time of the full moon, but it is really intensified now as it comes to an exact degree. So this energy will not happen again. Whatever is coming up for us right now is something that we need to overcome, that could feel quite personal, that could feel very triggering and very personal on a deep level, but it's something that you need to remove. It's like this toxic energy that we need to remove in our life, that in order to start fresh and start on this clean slate, with Pluto moving into the sign of Aquarius, which will then form a nice trine to the Sun in Libra. Obviously not right now, but when it does move into Aquarius, so it will be like moving on from this challenging energy. So whatever is coming up for us right now is potent and imperative to this transit that we'll be experiencing later into next year. On the 23rd of October, we have Venus in Sagittarius trining the North Node in Aries and sextiling the South Node in Libra. So this is a nice energy for just going forth on our plans, going after what it is we want to go after, investing in relationships or situations that broaden our mindset. Maybe we're feeling quite lucky and things are working out for us in terms of the goals and things we're wanting to move forward into. Maybe what challenging energy or triggering energy that was coming up for for us around the time of the full moon, we're able to mitigate that or move on from that or smooth over those situations or things that were happening for us in a way that feels really positive. Things are moving forward in a positive, more happier tone than they were around the time of the full moon. Also on the 23rd of September, we have the sun moving into Scorpio. So happy birthday, happy solar return, happy Scorpio season to all of my Scorpio sun watchers out there. This is your time to shine, even though you prefer maybe not to be the spotlight. So this is obviously moving into spooky season, a really wonderful energy to just tuning into maybe all the things that feel a little bit more darker, feel a little bit more intimate in our lives, maybe shining a spotlight on more things that are taboo in our lives, maybe looking at our finances and our connection with our finances, or our intimacy around our finances and relationships in our life, really getting to the depths of things. Again, also Mercury is still in the sign of Scorpio, so we're maybe feeling like we're able to invest and investigate situations or things that light us up and inspire us in our area of our life that Scorpio rules, in a way that feels really deep, intimate, and connects with others in a way that maybe feels a lot more authentic than before. Then on the 25th of October, we have Mars in Cancer sextiling Pluto retrograde in Taurus. So all of this energy with Mars that we're feeling around the time of October will likely be revisited, because Mars is going to be stationing retrograde towards the end of the year. So all of these potent aspects and angles and transits that Mars is making will be revisited. So this energy is going to be revisited, especially with this sextile to Uranus in Taurus. So there could be some unexpected opportunity or unexpected action that we need to take that is good, that is positive, but it's unexpected. We're not really expecting we needing to do this, but it's come up for us and we're ready to take action on that. It could be to do with our home, it could be to do with our family, relationships in our life, wherever the area in our charts that Cancer and Taurus rule. Could be some energies or opportunities coming up here that we're like, oh, didn't expect this, but now I'm going to roll with it. This is the type of energy I'm getting from this transit. Then on the 29th of October, we have Mars in Cancer trining Neptune retrograde in Pisces. So this energy, we're maybe again feeling inspired to take creative action in a way that we're like, oh, I didn't see it this way before, but now this makes sense. I'm going to go after this. This is maybe emotionally we're able to tune into our intuition a lot more. We're able to maybe trust what's coming up for us. Maybe we're seeing beyond the veil for situations, or just to do with certain aspects and areas in our life that we're just maybe feeling more creatively inspired in a way that we haven't felt before. Also on the 29th of October, we have Venus in Sagittarius squaring Saturn retrograde in Pisces. So we could be feeling some stagnation when it comes to spreading our wings and going after those situations that broaden our mindset or horizon. We're needing to slow down and maybe just take it one step at a time instead of going full force, because Sagittarius energy is very much about going full force into what it is they want to do without really seeing the finer details. So Saturn is asking us to maybe slow down, take it step by step, revisit things. Is this truly what we want, or are we going with the flow too much? Are we just being open or saying yes to opportunities that just come our way when we're not really taking the time to slow down and think how this will impact us long term, impact our health, impact our mental health, impact our situation long term? So this could be a nice time to just slow down and take stock of what it is we've already said yes to and agreed to, and just maybe contemplate whether that is what we want to keep doing, or if we want to keep going after or doing that, sort of staying on that same lane, or if we want to start slow down and just really tune into opportunities that feel right and correct for us, especially to do with our mental health and how that might impact us in the long term. Then on the 31st of October, so happy Halloween to those that celebrate, happy Samhain to those that celebrate. On the 31st of October, we have Mercury in Scorpio opposing Uranus retrograde in Taurus. So maybe those challenges that were coming up with Venus opposing Uranus earlier in the month are maybe coming up for us right now. Maybe we're literally finding out information or receiving information that we're like, wow, I did not expect that. We're receiving news that feels maybe quite shocking or quite challenging, or things that shatter us in our sense of what is reality in a way. Maybe we're just understanding or seeing things that we may not have seen before, or just conversations might be coming up for us that we maybe weren't quite having before, or maybe open to having now, or maybe having those conversations that are shattering or breaking down some sort of situation in a way that is able to help us and assist us in taking action and implementing these decisions, ideas, or projects that we're working on in a way that feels quite radical, that feels quite, it's like pushing the boundaries in a way. We may be able to feel like we can receive or understand things, or just things are generally feeling like they are pushing our boundaries in a way. Maybe feel like we're needing to take steps out of the box, out of our very comfortable box that we've put ourselves in. We're maybe needing to break out of that in a way that could feel a little bit triggering or challenging, but we're just needing to find that balance and that harmony between staying safe in our safe zone and putting ourselves out there, out of our comfort zone. So all up, this month does feel like a bit of a mixed bag. Feels quite erratic, quite challenging, quite interesting, and positive and expansive in ways. So if you'd like to see where all of this energy will be happening for you, keep on watching. So in the next part of this video, I will be breaking down where this month's energy will be happening for you based on your rising sign, and we'll be also pulling a oracle card for you at the end of the reading, just to tune into any other energy that might be important, or information that might be important for you this month ahead. Again, if this has been helpful for you, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next part of the video. This is madness.
But why don't you sit here? Why don't you sit there?
Can you see this? That's what I gotta deal with. For Aries and Aries rising, this energy of October will be happening throughout your 1st, your 7th, and your 8th houses. There's going to be an emphasis on your sense of self and your connection with your relationships within your life. There could be some interesting observations or introspections to do with your finances, how you make your money, and your connection and your emotional intimacy to do with your connection with other people's money. Mercury Cazimi and annual solar eclipse will be happening within your Libra 7th house. So there could be some interesting downloads or observations or insights to do with your connection with your contractual agreements, if you're married, with your marriage, with your relationships in your life, to do with work contracts as well. So there could be some interesting observations or evaluations that come through to you around the 1st and 3rd of this month. There could also be an energy of letting go of contractual agreements that are no longer aligned with you and the goals and achievements that you're wanting to set yourself in alignment with. There's something coming up here to do with your work and your connection with your work. Something is needing to be cleaned up, cleared out, or called in this area in life for you that will likely show up, manifest tangibly early next year. Jupiter will be stationing retrograde in your Gemini 3rd house on the 9th of October. So there could be this feeling like you've been wanting to expand your horizons to do with local travel or locally, or to do with your connection with your community. Maybe you're wanting to study, or you have been studying and you've just been overwhelmed with the opportunity and abundance to do with study or what you're wanting to learn. So there could be a slowing down of this month and into the rest of the year for you. So there might have been a lot of go energy to do with traveling, to do with studying, to do with just the way you communicate and express yourself. So you might be wanting to slow things down, just take it a little bit easier, not take on too much or overextend yourself that you might have been doing previously. Pluto will be stationing direct in your Capricorn 10th house. So whatever challenges or transformation or things that are coming up for you to purge and move on from, to do with your career and public reputation, is finally coming to a bit of a wrapping up type of energy. You're likely on the last sort of paces of that to do with what has been coming up for you. So it's time to wrap this up, readying yourself for this new energy when Pluto moves back into your Aquarius 11th house for the next 20 years. Mercury will be moving into your Scorpio 8th house on the 14th of October. So there could be some communications or opportunities to sign contracts or call in your income streams, or just opportunities to sign some deals that will bring you in some more revenue, or just other people's money is starting to be more of a focus in your life at the moment. So from the 14th onwards, you might see a bit of an uptake or increase in that area in life for you. Then on the 18th of October, you will have the very challenging and intense Aries full moon happening in your first house of self. So there could be some challenges to do with your work, your career, your home life balance, and to do with yourself and your connection with others. This full moon will likely be highlighting all of these challenges that is just kind of pulling you in all different directions. So you're likely feeling really personally activated by this full moon. So take it easy around the 18th and towards the end of the month. So just to be cautious, this energy will come up. So something is coming up within all of these main 4 areas in life for you that need to be purged, need to be moved on from, need to find balance within, and something that you're needing to let go of to do with your home base or family. Something is needing to be severed here to maybe ensure you're able to assist and transform you in your career and public reputation, or help you balance that need to prioritize energy to do with yourself and also your relationship. Something is really coming to a culmination for you in these areas in life towards the 18th and into the end of this month. On the 18th, Venus will be moving into your Sagittarius 9th house. So if you're wanting to take on some international travel or broaden your horizons in some way, maybe you're wanting to call in a new relationship in your life, or meet someone, or a new work opportunity to do with working with people maybe from overseas or foreign cultures in some way, there could be opportunities that present themselves this month for you around the 18th and onwards. Then on the 23rd, the Sun will move into your Scorpio 8th house. Another emphasis on other people's money, your intimacy around money, death and rebirth type energy. So you might literally be feeling like you're going through the fire right now, Aries rising. So this is like a transformative time, especially with this full moon happening only just before the Sun moving in to your 8th house. So you're likely feeling you're wanting to focus on how you make your money, how your income streams are generating you some finances in some way. There could be some unexpected opportunities to make money this month for you. So pay attention to this area in life. What is coming up for you right now, and what can sort of help you balance this need of home and work life, and how you can make your money in ways that might not have been available to you before. So let's have a look at what the oracle cards have in store for you, Aries and Aries rising. Virgo, I analyze. So this is the card that jumped out. It actually fell out of the cards. So your Virgo house, also Mercury is very involved in this month for you, especially activated in your 7th house with the Cazimi and the annual solar eclipse. So Mercury rules Virgo. It also rules Gemini. So have a look at your Virgo house. Your Virgo house is your 6th house of work, health, daily routines, your co-workers, animals. This is maybe an important area in life to just pay attention to. So with this Mercury Cazimi ruling your 6th house of Virgo, there could be some new insights or downloads or intuitive hits to do with your health. There could also be some sort of energy to do with maybe how you communicate or express yourself too, because Mercury does rule your 3rd house as well. But there could be some new insights and downloads and just opportunities, and something is being finally ended or coming to a close to do with your health or your work in some way. So have a look if you have any Virgo placements. There could be an emphasis on this house again for you. So pay attention to where in your personal chart, if there's any planets that are being activated for you right now. If you do have personal planets in Virgo, obviously it is still being activated with Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, and with this latest eclipse that we just had in Pisces. So your 6th house has been quite activated recently. So there could be some needing to clean up or prioritize your health and well-being in some way. Maybe you're just needing to invest some time, energy, or finances into this area in life for you. Maybe you're just needing to set up a new daily routine to really allow yourself time and space to call in new opportunities, and starting with a serious yet solid daily routine that allows you to really tune in and elevate your health in some way. So all up for you, Aries rising. This will be a month of focusing on yourself, your connection with your partnerships. Maybe there is some work-life balance that needs to happen. There's maybe some challenges that come up to do with your sense of self, your relationships, your work, and your family this month. There could be some challenges that need to be overcome. There could be some emphasis on your finances or how you make your money, other people's money, and also maybe a sense of travel or needing to push yourself to go overseas or expand your mindset in some way. So for Taurus and Taurus rising, this energy of October will be happening throughout your 6th, 7th, 8th and also your 12th houses. So kicking off at the beginning of the month, you will have the Mercury Cazimi happening in your 6th house of work, daily routines, co-workers, your health, and also pets. So maybe there is some new opportunities or insights or downloads that are coming through that you've been waiting on. Maybe you have been prioritizing your health. Maybe there is some sort of daily routine or shift that has been happening to do with your work colleagues. Maybe there has just been some big changes that are occurring or about to occur in this area of life for you. This again will be highlighted with the solar eclipse happening on the 3rd of October in this house for you. So maybe this is a new opportunity to really see what amplifies and manifests towards the beginning of next year and into next year over the next 6 months in this area of life for you. Maybe there are some new opportunities that are coming their way to really help you elevate your health or call in new work opportunities or really strengthen your connection with your co-workers in a way that maybe you're not privy to just yet. On the 9th of October, Jupiter will be stationing retrograde in your 2nd house of finances. So you might have felt this month or this year your finances have felt quite abundant, have felt like you are receiving lots of different streams of income, or you're having lots of revenue with your business if you have a business, or you're just finding you are just really busy in terms of maybe reevaluating or prioritizing or just focusing on your values. So this is likely going to slow down a little bit with Jupiter stationing retrograde. Maybe you're just looking inward and seeing, are these opportunities that have come up for me really aligning with my sense of values, and do I want to keep pursuing them? Maybe I just need to slow down a little bit and take advantage of the opportunities that really do align with me. Then on the 12th of October, Pluto will be stationing direct in your Capricorn 9th house. So something is coming up here that's coming to a close that you're ready to move on from finally, to do with travel, higher law, study, to do with connecting with people from a foreign culture. So maybe you're wrapping up this desire and need to really put yourself out there and expand your horizons, and now you're finally ready to focus on a different area in life. Maybe you're ready to finally let these old dreams go, or these old close off this area in life. You're finally ready to finish up maybe some study that you have been working on, and you're finally ready to close it all up and just move on from things that are no longer aligning with you or no longer of interest to you anymore. And on the 14th of October, Mercury will move into your Scorpio 7th house. There could be some conversations to do with your one-on-one connections, to do with your relationships, or to do with new contractual agreements that might be coming your way. Maybe you're ready to have those deeper conversations that allow you to connect with clients who are within your marriage or your relationships in a deep, intimate level. Maybe you're ready to have those conversations and have that connection in some way. And on the 18th of October, Venus will move into your Sagittarius 8th house, which is a really nice energy for calling in new streams of income, for really helping elevate or alleviate some of that maybe stagnation that you're starting to feel with Jupiter stationing retrograde in your 2nd house. Maybe this Venus moving through your 8th house is going to provide a bit more of a positive energy to do with how you make your money or your connection with other people's money. Also on the 18th, you will have the full moon happening on your 6th and 12th houses, maybe illuminating and bringing to a close things to do with how you communicate and express yourself. Maybe some travel, international or local travel, that are finally coming to a close, that you're ready to close up or end. You're not, that's no longer where you're wanting to go, or maybe you're shifting and changing your plans in some way, or there are some challenges to do with some plans that you maybe have in place that you're needing to change them and shift and move or close them off or end plans that you might have had. But something is coming to a close here. It could be to do with your health, well-being. Something is coming to an end. You're needing to finish up something, wrap up something. It is a final finish. So there is something that is maybe highlighted for you to do with maybe your connection with your spirituality, your connection with work, maybe just as simple as a work contract is finally coming to an end that you've been waiting to close out for some time. On the 23rd of October, the sun will move into your Scorpio 7th house. So again, highlighting and emphasizing your relationships, your one-to-one contractual agreements, and how you connect with those in your life, especially to do with work and your work contracts or legal contracts that you may be working with or working on or calling into your life in some way. Your energy and focus is going to be going through this area in life for you the rest of this month and into next month. So let's have a look at what the oracle cards have in store for you, Taurus and Taurus rising. This one flew out first. Earth element, stability. Obviously, as an earth rising sign, you're someone that is needing a lot of stability and earth energy in your life in general. So have a look at your chart. Do you have a lot of earth placements? Do you not have a lot of earth placements? Do you need to call in some more stability into your life? Do you need to stay a bit more grounded rather than having your head in the clouds a little bit? Very, very much Libra season energy. So do you need to be a little bit more grounded, a little bit more stable in your life in some way? You needed to call in more of that earth energy, tap in and tune into more grounding activities, being in nature, some more really listening to what your body needs, really grounding and staying present in this reality. So earth energy is likely going to be quite present for you this month, especially with, I think, Jupiter stationing retrograde in your second house could be causing a little bit of up in the air type of energy and just really stirring up this energy for you this month. But overall, Taurus and Taurus rising, this month is going to be focusing on your health and well-being, your co-workers, your daily routine. Something is coming to a close and end to do with this. Your mental and physical health. There could be some travel or local travel or international travel changes in your plans that are coming up, and a lot of focus to do with how you make your money, your finances, and your one-to-one connections this month. So for Gemini and Gemini rising, this energy of October will be happening throughout your 5th house, your 6th house, your 7th house, and also your 1st house. So there is a lot of energy happening in the beginning of the month to do with your 5th house, with your house of relationships, your relationships with your children, and what brings you joy and your hobbies this month. So there could be some interesting insights or downloads or observations that come through to you, maybe to do with a relationship in your life this month, with the Mercury Cazimi happening in your 5th house of Libra, along with the annual solar eclipse happening in this house for you on the 3rd of October. So something is intensified and highlighted in this area in life for you that likely may not be showing up right now, but it will be more present and tangible towards the beginning of next year. So pay attention to what insights and downloads that you're receiving at the beginning of this month. This could give you a clue as to what this energy will be manifesting for you over this next year ahead. Then on the 9th of October, Jupiter will be stationing retrograde in your 1st house. So you're likely feeling this retrograde on quite a personal level. So you could be focusing on your body. Maybe you've been overexerting yourself. Your energy levels are likely feeling quite low. You are likely feeling quite energetic or quite activated in some way this year with Jupiter moving into your 1st house. So this could be a time of pressing pause and slowing down and just maybe only taking on things that you feel a full body yes to. This could be just prioritizing your physical health, so taking those breaks when you need it and slowing down and listening to your body, because you're likely feeling a little bit burnt out. On the 12th of October, Pluto will be stationing direct in your Capricorn 8th house. So whatever challenges or triggers or things that you're needed to purge and remove from, maybe some old outdated belief systems that no longer align with you, maybe some old streams of income or how you make your money is finally coming to a close. Maybe some old debts are finally getting paid off, readying you for this next phase in life over the next 20 years when Pluto moves into your 9th house at the end of this year. Then on the 14th of October, Mercury will move into your Scorpio 6th house, so you could be focusing a lot more on your health, your physical well-being, especially with Mercury being your chart ruler. This again is giving that emphasis on focusing on your health this month. There could be some communications to do with maybe new contracts or agreements that are coming coming into your life. Maybe your relationships with your co-workers are feeling a lot more aligned and a lot more in tune towards the middle of this month and onwards. On the 18th of October, the full moon will be happening in your 11th and 5th houses. So this will be highlighting the need to again focus on maybe wrapping things up, or a culmination to do with friendships in your life. Maybe you're ready to finally call in those new friendships, or you're letting go of those old hobbies or interests that have maybe held you back from connecting with a community that feels more aligned with you, that inspires you and invigorates you. Maybe you're needing to let go of old work streams or streams of income that have been feeling stagnant or holding you back. There's some sort of challenge to do with what brings you joy and how you make your money. Something is needing to be wrapped up, closed off, and purged out of your life around the time of this full moon to do with this area in life. So on the 18th, Venus will move into your Sagittarius 7th house. I like this energy for new contractual agreements or your relationship. If you're married, your marriage, this is a lovely energy to just real connect with your partner, maybe take on some more adventure or some more challenge that broadens your perspective and horizons with someone in your life. You're not doing it alone. So maybe you're going on adventures together, or calling in contracts with another person. Maybe you're calling in a relationship that you're able to feel like you can fully, truly express yourself in a really open and free way. Then on the 23rd, the sun will also move into your Scorpio 6th house. So again, another focus on your health and well-being in your daily routines and your co-workers, how you make your money, your work this month. Again, another focus on your health, your daily routines, your co-workers, your work this month. So there could be an emphasis on just really leaning in and attuning yourself to this energy. What is it that needs to be revisited and aligned with? Something is maybe unexpectedly coming up that maybe is coming to an end this month for you, possibly to do with how you communicate or express yourself, or maybe some study, or just something is shifting and changing, or providing you with new insights to do with maybe your work in some way that you hadn't considered before. So let's have a look at what the oracle cards have in store for you, Gemini and Gemini rising. That literally just flew out. Lunar eclipse change, which we did have a lunar eclipse last month, which was happening in your Pisces 10th house. So were you thinking of calling new change in to do with your career? Are you finding that you're shifting and changing your focus on being more of at home to really shifting and changing, how can I put myself out there more? How can I call in work opportunities or new opportunities that feel aligned with me on a real spiritual level, or work that feels meaningful to you? Maybe this is the change that you're calling in. So what was coming up for you last month? Could this be again highlighted and revisited again this month? There could be some energy to do with this. There could be some focus around the themes that were coming up for you last lunar eclipse. So have a think back to what was happening last month, middle of last month, and if this will be of focus again for you, which it will be because it was an eclipse. So this energy will show up for you over the next 6 months. So it could be starting to show itself now. So all up for you, Gemini rising, this month will be a focus on your sense of self and slowing down, a focus on your health, your daily routines, your physical well-being, and also just maybe setting yourself up for success with a solid daily routine, maybe your relationship with your co-workers or your work in general. There is also a focus on what brings you joy, what lights you up. Something's coming to a close that maybe is holding you back from really aligning with work, or things to do with work that really light you up along with what makes you money too. So Cancer and Cancer rising, this energy of October will be happening throughout your 12th house, your 4th house, your 5th house, and also your 10th house. So at the beginning of the month, you're likely receiving some insights or downloads or some transformative energy happening to do with your home and family life. Maybe you're wanting to call in a new home, or wanting to call in a deeper connection with your family, or wanting to just simply shift and change your home up in some way. There could be some revelations or insights coming through, especially around the 1st and the 3rd of this month, because this is when the Cazimi and annual solar eclipse are happening. So although they might not be showing up now, this could give you some insights and some information into what you do want to call into your life and how you want to change this area in life for you. On the 9th of October, Jupiter will be stationing retrograde in your Gemini 12th house. So there is a sense of slowing down, or a sense of just stagnation to do with maybe things that are happening behind the scenes. Maybe you are working on things a bit more in private. Maybe things have been happening for you health-wise that have been a bit overwhelming, or just there's so much happening all at once. This is like you're going to start slowing down, which could be a relief for you over these next few weeks. So things are going to start slowing down, just feeling like they're just taking a bit of a pause, taking a bit of a back seat at the moment to focus your energy on other areas in life. Then on the 12th of October, Pluto will be stationing direct in your 7th house of Capricorn. So there could be some energy to do with wrapping up, maybe purging or ending a relationship that has been maybe on the back burner, that is needing to finish up. Maybe it's an old client or contract that you've finally been working on closing up and getting out of your life for good, or calling in new clients that are going to come through and be with you into this next 20 years with Pluto moving into your 8th house. Maybe you're just wanting to really make a mark and really make a difference and really transform this area in life. Maybe you're really working on deepening your intimacy with your partner in your life. Maybe you're working on deepening your intimacy with your clients or people that you work with in a way that feels really profound and transformative for everyone. So this is likely starting to move forward and coming out of this retrograde cycle with Pluto readying itself to move into your 8th house for the next 20 years. Then on the 14th of October, Mercury will be moving into your Scorpio 5th house. So there could be a focus on your children, on what brings you joy, maybe your romantic partnerships. You're just feeling like you can connect with people on a deeper, more emotional level. Maybe you're ready to have those deep and meaningful conversations that light you up. Maybe you're wanting to research or investigate hobbies a bit more. Maybe you're wanting to spend a bit more time just in energy, just really focusing on and researching things and just diving into what lights you up and really inspires you and motivates you on a really deep personal level. Then on the 18th of October, there will be a full moon happening in your 10th house and your 4th house, really illuminating something coming to a culmination to do with your home and family life, to do with your work-life balance, to do with your sense of self and also your relationships. So something triggering and transformative and potent is coming up here that you're needing to let go of, maybe an old version of yourself or an old relationship, in order to really focus on this new career pathway that you're wanting to forge for yourself. Then on the 23rd of October, the sun will move into your Scorpio 5th house. So again, a focus on what lights you up, what brings you joy, your relationships in your life, if you have children, relationships with your children or children in your life in general. So there's just focus on just creating this more deeper bond and emotional connection with those in your life, really just focusing this energy towards the end of the month and into next month is really deepening this bond with people in your life. So let's have a look at what the oracle cards have in store for you, Cancer and Cancer rising. 8th house, endings and beginnings. We were talking a bit about the 8th house with Pluto moving into there for you into the end of the year. So again, it's like readying and preparing this house for you. You're already working on closing up those lessons and that transformation that Pluto has brought for you these last few 18 years with Pluto being in your 7th house of partnerships. So now it's readying you for this transformative energy that is building up and moving into your 8th house. Do you have any personal 8th house placements? If you do, you will feel this transit of Pluto through your 8th house on a really personal level, along with if you have personal placements in your 2nd house, you will feel this on a deeply personal level. You're likely already feeling it, and you already have been feeling it, so this is not new information for you, but this is just reconfirmation or a highlighting of this for you that is likely going to be coming up maybe this month into next month. So all up for you, Cancer and Cancer rising. This will be a month of focusing on your home and family life, what lights you up and brings you joy, and just really investing time and energy into that, and a focus on closing up or wrapping up something to do with your career, your sense of self, and your co-workers or colleagues or contractual agreements, your one-to-one clients or relationships in your life this month ahead. So for Leo and Leo rising, this energy of October will be happening throughout your 3rd house, your 4th house, your 9th house, and also your 11th house. So starting off the month, you're likely receiving literally, potentially some insights or downloads or conversations that are really invigorating and inspiring you to maybe call in new opportunities in your life. If you're wanting to call in opportunities to travel locally or shift around your neighborhood or get to know your community in some way, your local community, maybe reconnecting with your siblings or extended family in some way. So something is coming up here that is likely going to tangibly manifest into next year, but this is the start of this energy for you at the beginning of the month. Then moving on to the 9th of October, Jupiter will be stationing retrograde in your 11th house of community, of connections, of your relationships with your friends and all your hopes, dreams and wishes. So you could be feeling like maybe some social activity is slowing down for you at the beginning of this month and into the rest of this month and the rest of this year. Maybe things are starting to just slow down and wind down. Maybe opportunities are starting to just dwindle down a little bit, and you're maybe looking at connecting with people that feel like you can take your time with, rather than feeling like there is so much happening all at once, which could be a good energy. You're just starting to slow down a little bit in this area in life, really refining your hopes, dreams and wishes. Maybe you've been like wanting to just take on everything all at once, but now you're ready to just slow down and really be selective and decisive with what you are taking on and what you are working on. Then on the 12th of October, Pluto will be stationing direct in your Capricorn 6th house. So there could be this final closing up and finishing up of this deep transformative energy to do with your health and well-being, your daily routines, your co-workers, your work in general. So there could just be some wrapping up of this energy. Maybe you're finally having the answers or purging what you need to purge for the last time to do with your health. You're really just moving on from this really challenging, maybe deeply transformative time for you. Maybe your health has just really been a focus for you these last few years, especially these last 18 years potentially. With Pluto transiting this house for you, maybe you're finally wrapping up this area in life. You're finally ready to just move on, close up this area in life. You've healed, you've purged. This is the final pass of this transit for you. Then on the 14th of October, Mercury will move into your Scorpio 4th house. So conversations maybe around with your family or your home in general. Maybe you're having these deep, intimate conversations that you've been needing to have with your family. Maybe you're having these conversations that maybe feel quite triggering or challenging, but are needing to be had in order to move on or process things that you've been wanting to work through. There could also be communications and talk about maybe moving in somewhere new or taking on some new home or property in some way that have been been in the works but haven't quite come to fruition just yet. Then on the 18th of October, the full moon will be happening in your 9th and your 3rd houses, really emphasizing your communication, your expression, your travel. Something is coming to a close here. If you're traveling in some way, if you're planning travel, maybe you're finally ready to take that step, finally book that trip, or if you have had travel plans, maybe something is coming to an end, something is shifting and changing here for you. Something is wrapping up in this area in life for you. Maybe you're finally ready to move or shift or take on work from overseas if these sort of like areas in life for you that have been sort of coming up. Maybe something or opportunities overseas. Maybe you're just ready to finally put yourself out there and broaden your horizons or take on that study that you've been wanting to take on in some way. Venus will then also move into your Sagittarius 5th house. Venus loves being in the 5th house, so this is a really nice energy for you if you're wanting to just meet that special someone, if you're wanting to put yourself out there and just broaden your horizons in some way to do with meeting a romantic partnership. If you have children in your life, maybe you're wanting to just connect with your children in a way that feels fun. You're maybe taking on some trips or just doing some fun activities that really light you all up, or you connect with your inner child in some way. Then on the 23rd of October, the Sun will move into your Scorpio 4th house, again bringing an emphasis on home and family life for you. These intimate, deep conversations that may be needing to be had are really going to be highlighted towards the end of the month as well. So let's have a look at what the Oracle cards have in store for you, Leo and Leo rising. Literally Leo came up, like shucked itself out of the deck. So Leo, I will. So having a look at, obviously you're a Leo rising, but your sense of self this month. Maybe you are physically feeling very involved with everything that's been going on this month. Obviously the eclipse is going to be quite triggering and quite intensified because it will be making a sextile to your first house, your ascendant. So if you have any personal Leo placements, like planetary placements other than your ascendant, have a look at what these are and what houses they might rule as. That could give you either further insights, but likely going to be feeling a lot of this energy that we just talked about on a very deep personal level. So all up for you, Leo and Leo rising, there's going to be a focus on your communication, how you express yourself, study, travel, international or local travel, your home and family life, along with connecting with maybe new partnerships or romantic partnerships. There's also going to be some sort of health situation that is maybe coming to a close or coming to an end or transforming in life for you some way. Maybe slowing down and taking your time with connecting with new friendships or going after your hopes, dreams and wishes, and just maybe some closing off or finishing up some sort of travel in some way or study in some way if this has been a priority for you over these last few months. For Virgo and Virgo rising, this month of October will be focusing on your second house of finances, your third house of communication, how you express yourself, and your siblings, your local travel as well, along with your 8th house of other people's money and your 10th house of career. So at the beginning of the month, there's maybe some insights or downloads or just something transformative happening to do with how you make your money, your value system in some way. Maybe you're finally realizing there's your sort of job or income stream or way you make your money is needing to change and needing to be more aligned with your sense of self and your values in some way. Something is really coming up here that is going to tangibly and physically manifest into next year. Maybe a change and shift in job or a complete career change in some way. And on the 9th of October, Jupiter will station retrograde in your Gemini 10th house. So someone with the Gemini 10th house, you need to have a lot of variety when it comes to your work and just putting yourself out there in lots of different ways that feel inspiring to you. So you'll likely have had a lot of opportunities potentially come your way this year with Jupiter transiting this house for you. So there could be a sense of things slowing down and just maybe taking a little bit of a step back and maybe just really reevaluating, taking on opportunities that feel aligned with your values, that feel aligned with what lights you up and brings you joy in some way. So something is coming up here that is needing to be just adjusted and just reevaluated and just slowed down. Taking on things that light you up, taking on things that feel aligned with you and your sense of values will be very important. And on the 12th of October, Pluto will station direct in your 5th house of joy, of hobbies, of children, or romantic partnerships. So something is being purged, closed up and finished up here, readying you for the next 20 years when Pluto moves into your Aquarius 6th house. So something is finally coming to a close, finally coming to an end that you're ready to finally purge and move on from. Maybe it's that karmic relationship that you keep going back to, that you're like, I'm finally done, finally moving on from you in my life, finally letting you go. So something is wrapping up here for you this month and into the rest of the year. Then on the 14th of October, Mercury will move into your Scorpio 3rd house, maybe bringing in that sense of communication when it comes to investigating or diving into topics that really light you up and inspire you, really wanting to dive deeper when it comes to maybe your family or your connection with your siblings, maybe getting to the bottom of maybe secrets or things that have been coming up or insights that have been coming up, that you're wanting to have those connections and those communications with people. Maybe you're just ready to really dive into a new research project that lights you up in some way that you're wanting to put into your work in some shape or form. Then on the 18th of October, the very challenging, intense full moon will be happening in your 2nd and 8th houses, really identifying the need to shift, change, let go of relationships that are maybe holding you back and how you make your money in some way. Maybe old outdated dreams or hobbies have been really feeling stagnant to you, that you're ready to let go and shift your priorities in some way, that to align yourself with things that light you up, that help you align with work and align with income streams that are going to provide for you, that also align with your sense of values at the same time. And on the 18th of October, Venus will also move into your Sagittarius 4th house. So there could be a need to maybe invest in property or invest in sort of your home and family life that feels expansive in some way. Maybe you're ready to just invest money into your home in general or your property in general in some way. Or maybe you're just wanting to invest in time with your family and go on sort of adventures together that feel really grounded and feel really inspiring to you in some way. Just maybe there's maybe a lot of energy or emphasis on just spending time with family in general. Then on the 23rd of October, the Sun will move into your Scorpio 3rd house, just really identifying that need to communicate, express yourself, and dive into the details that are not necessarily of surface level, that are really diving into those deeper details, that really uncovering and bringing things to the surface, really being inspired to maybe really go deeper into that research project that you might have started, or just researching something in general, taking on study that really lights you up and inspires you in some way. So let's have a look at what the Oracle cards have in store for you, Virgo and Virgo rising. Capricorn, we were literally just talking about this in your 5th house. So again, I feel like this 5th house, with Capricorn moving out of this 5th house, it's like this weight lifted. It's like finally this really challenging energy is moving out of my house of joy. I really am happy for this for you, because it has been maybe quite triggering or challenging for you, especially if you do have Capricorn heavy placements or Cancer placements. It has likely been quite a challenging time. So you're finally maybe feeling freer in this Capricorn house of yours. You're finally able to really invest in and really look at and spend time and energy into things that light you up now, without feeling like it is a burden or just some deeply transformative experience. So all up for you, Virgo and Virgo rising. This is the energy of focusing on your finances, your connection with your money in a way that is aligned with your values, a focus on slowing down your work and putting yourself out there, maybe some shifts and changes, or looking at your travel in some way. Something is maybe coming to the surface here, or diving deeper into some study, and also a focus on your home and family life, and finally healing and moving on from something to do with your relationships or what brings you joy in some way. So for Libra and Libra rising, this energy of October will be happening throughout your 1st, your 2nd, your 7th house, and your 9th house. So at the beginning of the month, there's going to be a lot of focus on your sense of self, your physical body, who you are. You're literally going to be receiving very intuitive, intense hits and downloads. Maybe there's some sort of new situation that you're just needing to let go, or the sense of self, or this version of yourself that you're really ready to purge and let go of and transform in some way. Maybe it's not quite ready just yet. Maybe it's not quite visible to you just yet, but it is going to tangibly manifest into next year. Then on the 9th of October, Jupiter will be stationing retrograde in your 9th house of travel, of higher law, study, connecting with people from a foreign culture. So there could have been a lot of opportunity for you to travel, study, move about, shift and change this area in life for you. Maybe you've had a lot of opportunity to expand your horizons and learning in some way. This is like you're going to start slowing down a little bit. Things are going to start just really taking a bit of a back seat. There's maybe feeling like there's not as much opportunity or luck or things coming through to you. This will pick up again once Jupiter stations direct, but at this present point in time, it is going to be starting to slow down, and you're just able to be taking on opportunities that feel maybe more aligned with you, or feel more inspiring to you in some way. 12th of October, Pluto will be stationing direct in your Capricorn 4th house. So there is some shifts, changes, purges, transformation that is finally coming to a close to do with your home and family life. Maybe there's some changes literally to your home space or foundation in some way that is finally getting fixed, finally getting repaired. Your connection with your family, or that has been transforming over these past 3 years, is finally at that end point where you're really starting to connect, really starting to deepen those connections and heal those connections in some way. On the 14th of October, Mercury will be moving into your Scorpio 2nd house. You're ready to maybe have those conversations that align with your sense of values. Maybe you're feeling like there's a lot of visibility and emphasis on your income streams, on how you make your money, on taking on work that feels more aligned with you on a real deep, emotional, intense level. The full moon happening on the 18th of October will be emphasizing your sense of self and your connection to the relationships that you have in your life. Maybe there's some final closing or endings or just transformation happening to do with your one-to-one contractual agreements with clients in your life. If you work with clients, if you have one-to-one contractual agreements with work colleagues, things like that, something is shifting and changing and maybe just purging out of your life. There's likely some changes and challenges happening to do with your home and family life, and happening to do with your work-life balance. So there's this needing to balance your sense of self and your sense of self within your relationships and your work and your home. You're likely feeling pulled in all these 4 different directions. It's finding that balance and that equilibrium and overcoming these challenging things that are coming up for you, especially to do with your career and public reputation. You have Mars moving through your 10th house right now, which has been causing a lot of separation and triggering challenging energy to do with your career and public reputation, that is heavily involved with both not only the full moon but the new moon solar eclipse this month. So there's a lot of energy happening in this career and public reputation house for you. Things are feeling challenging, and Mars is going to have an extended stay here. So whatever's coming up right now will likely be revisited over the next few months, with Mars staying and stationing retrograde in this house for you. On the 23rd of October, the Sun will move into your Scorpio 2nd house, really emphasizing this need to focus on your finances and your connection with your values to do with your finances and how you make your money. Does this feel aligned with you? Are you putting your energy into this? This is going to be a focus around the end of the month and into next month for you. So let's have a look at what the oracle cards have in store for you, Libra and Libra rising. South Node. This is literally in your first house. So your sense of self this month and letting go a certain version of yourself, or feeling pulled away from your focusing on yourself and then focusing on relationships in your life and just finding that balance between the two will be really important, really emphasized, especially around the annual solar eclipse that is happening at the beginning of this month. So all up for you, Libra and Libra rising. There's this huge emphasis on your sense of self and who you are within your contractual agreements, within your work, within your finances, within your relationships in your life, with your partners in your life. There's going to be some shifts, changes, and closing off of things finally happening to do with your home and family life. There's a focus on your sense of values and how you make your money, along with some challenges that could be coming up towards the end of the month to do with your connection with your finances, how you make your money, your work, and also your relationships, and needing to find that balance and equilibrium between all of these areas in life for you, Libra rising. Scorpio and Scorpio rising. This month of October will be focusing on your first house, your 12th house, your third house, your 6th house, and also your 8th house. At the beginning of the month, you could be feeling the need to withdraw and isolate and really tune in to your intuition and these insights that are coming through. There could be a focus on your mental or physical well-being, your health in general, especially around the 1st and 3rd of October, because you will be experiencing the Cazimi and the annual solar eclipse happening in your Libra 12th house. There could be this deep desire to just isolate and remove yourself from the world around you, just to really process this information or these downloads or these insights that are coming through to you, that are going to start tangibly showing up and manifesting into this next year ahead. So pay attention to what is coming up for you around the time of the annual solar eclipse, because this energy will play a big role into the new year for you going forward. On the 9th of October, Jupiter will be stationing retrograde in your Gemini 8th house. You could have been feeling quite abundant when it comes to how you make your money, your finances, other people's money. There could have been a lot of emphasis on debt, inheritances, or taxes in some way. So this is likely slowing down. This is going to be maybe feeling like a little bit less lucky if you have investments. Maybe you're seeing a great return on your investments in some way, but this could be starting to slow down and can become feeling quite stagnant this month and into the next few months onwards, with Jupiter stationing retrograde. So just pay attention to this and just understand that even if it does feel a little bit slow and stagnant right now, it's not permanent, and it will start to move forward and gain traction once Jupiter starts moving direct again. So this also could emphasize that if you have been experiencing a lot of bills or debt in some way, that this could also start to slow down and things aren't kind of coming at you from all angles financially all the time in some way towards the 9th of October onwards. Then on the 12th of October, Pluto will be stationing retrograde in your Capricorn 3rd house. So whatever has been coming up for you to close, purge, move on from, especially to do with how you communicate or express yourself, maybe some study that you've been completing, maybe your connection with your siblings or extended family, or just your local community in some way, this is finally coming to a close. This purging or this transformation that has been happening in this area in life for you for the past literally almost 20 years is finally coming to a close, readying you for this next phase and cycle with Pluto moving into your 4th house towards the end of the year for the next 20 years. Then on the 14th of October, Mercury will be moving into your 1st house of self, into your Scorpio 1st house, really identifying the need for you to find your voice and communicate and express yourself in a way that feels authentic and real for you. You maybe been holding yourself back or keeping things under wraps with Mercury transiting your 12th house recently. Maybe now you're ready to maybe put those ideas and plans into motion and ready to express and communicate and put yourself out there in a way that feels authentic and aligned with who you are. So much with the work you've been doing behind the scenes, you're ready to put that out into the world in some way. And on the 18th of October, the full moon will be happening in your Aries 6th house and your Libra 12th house. So this is really emphasizing and maybe aggravating some sort of maybe travel or local travel or study or legalities in some way for you, especially to do with your health and well-being or work colleagues in some way. Something is coming to an end. Something is finally coming to a culmination here. Maybe you've been waiting for a diagnosis. Maybe you've been waiting for some sort of health investigation or information to come through to you. This could be coming to the surface or finally coming to a head around the time of this full moon. It may be quite challenging or quite triggering, especially with Mars and Pluto involved, but it is likely finally coming to a close or coming to a head. That challenging energy that has been building, you're finally having an outcome. You're finally receiving the news or finally understanding what's going on in order for you to heal and move on from this and overcome this challenging energy. So on the 18th, Venus will move into your Sagittarius 2nd house. So this is a nice energy to do with your finances and how you make your money. You might have been feeling like, obviously with Jupiter stationing retrograde in your 8th house, things have started to slow down, but with Venus moving through your 2nd house, this is a lovely opportunity to call in money or even meet people that really align with your sense of values and just really help you feel financially expansive in some way. On the 23rd of October, the Sun will move into your Scorpio 1st house, bringing again that emphasis on your sense of self, who you are, and really investing in you. Instead of keeping things behind the scenes and just working on your health, you're maybe able to invest more of your time in really embodying this new version of yourself, embodying this new energy that you're able to overcome, move on from, purge out of your life, and really embody this energy and step into this next phase of life for you. So let's have a look at what the Oracle cards have in store for you, Scorpio rising. Seventh house of partners, so literally opposite your 1st house. So your 7th house, you've had Uranus transiting this house for you for the last few years. Uranus will be leaving this house for you soon, but at the moment Uranus is maybe identifying the need to revisit things and overcome things in a way that you maybe haven't been emotionally available or ready for, or just changing up or shifting up some sort of way you connect with people or connect with your clients or your marriage in some way. Something has been shifted and changed, and new insights maybe are coming through to you in this area in life for you this month ahead. So all up for you, Scorpio rising. This is a month of you focusing on your sense of self, maybe coming to a close or coming to an end, some sort of health, well-being or work issue that could have been at the forefront of your mind, or just what has been happening for you personally right now. There's likely an emphasis on closing up or finishing up to do with some sort of local travel or extended family issue or progress that you've been working on, or transformation that has been happening for you in this area in life, and just maybe some new insights or downloads or just transformative energy to do with your intuition or your connection with spirit, or also just your connection with your relationships in general that could be shifting and changing in a way that you might have not been privy to, or insights that you're receiving that maybe you haven't quite thought of or listened to before. For Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising, this month of October's energy will be a focus on your 11th house, your 12th house, your 2nd house, and your 5th house. At the beginning of the month, you're likely receiving some downloads, insights, or intuitive hits to do with your connections with your hopes, dreams, and wishes, maybe to do with the friendships or relationships in your life or your communities in some way. Maybe you're wanting to call in or shift or change or move out of communities that you're currently a part of. Maybe you're wanting to shift shift and change up your dreams and hopes and your wishes in some way. Maybe you're wanting to call new friendships into your life. So pay attention to what is coming up for you at the beginning of this month, as this will likely manifest quite tangibly over the next year ahead. Then on the 9th of October, Jupiter will be stationing retrograde in your Gemini 7th house. Now, Jupiter is your chart ruler, so you're likely feeling this potentially quite personally. So you might be feeling like you've had this overabundance and opportunities with contracts or one-to-one agreements with people, or relationships in your life are likely feeling like there's a lot going on. So this is likely going to start slowing down and coming to a bit of a halt with Jupiter stationing retrograde in this house for you. You're likely feeling like all these opportunities are starting to slow down, so you're maybe able to identify which opportunities feel really aligned with you and connect with those ones, rather than just having all of these different things coming your way. Things will slightly start to take a little bit of a back seat from this month onwards until Jupiter stations direct again. Then on the 12th of October, Pluto will be stationing direct in your Capricorn second house. So all of these changes and transformations and trials and tribulations that have been happening for you to do with your finances and how you make your money are going to start to be closing up and finishing up and readying you for this next cycle, with Pluto moving into your third house of communication for the next 20 years moving forward. Then on the 14th of October, Mercury will be moving into your Scorpio 12th house. So maybe you're wanting to have those deeper connections, maybe in a bit more of a private setting. Maybe you're wanting to connect with people in smaller group settings that you're able to really express and communicate yourself in a really deeply emotionally intimate and vulnerable way. Or maybe you're focusing on your mental health. You're maybe having conversations to do with your mental or physical health in a way that feels really like you're being vulnerable. You're able to be vulnerable, connect with people in a more vulnerable and open way, but in a very small, contained way. You're not putting it all out there. You're keeping it more behind the scenes, and maybe you're working on things more behind the scenes as well. Then on the 18th of October, the full moon in Aries will be happening in your 5th house and your 11th house. So there's something that's coming to a culmination here to do with what lights you up, your relationships in your life, or maybe your romantic partnership. If you're in a new romantic partnership, something is coming to a close, or something's coming to a head here that is finally coming up and you're finally looking at and needing to work on. This could also be to do with triggering something to do with how you make your money, your finances, and your value system in some way, to do with what also lights you up. So work that lights you up but also makes you money, again, could be quite a key theme for you at the time of this full moon. So something is coming to a culmination here. Venus will then move into your 1st house on the 18th as well. So this is a lovely transit for investing in your physical self. You're likely feeling quite magnetic. You're just feeling like things are happening and moving forward for you in a positive way, as they could have felt quite stagnant for you with Jupiter stationing retrograde at the beginning of this month. Then on the 23rd of October, the Sun will be moving into your Scorpio 12th house. So there could be a feeling of needing to just focus on working behind the scenes, or keeping things behind the scenes until they're quite ready to put out there and put into fruition just yet. You might need to just be taking a bit of time to really work on things behind the scenes before you let people into your plans, or let people into what is currently happening for you. So let's have a look at what the Oracle cards have in store for you. Sagittarius rising, Saturn return age. So if you are currently going through your Saturn return, maybe you have your Saturn in Pisces, but if you are going through your Saturn return, this is maybe highlighting and identifying some sort of need to revisit and refocus on what is truly needing to change, transform, and shift and move in your life. Saturn isn't the planet of transformation, but Saturn does cause transformation in your life, because it does sort of dismantle and shift and change things that aren't working for you. It's a course corrector energy. It's a planet of karma. So maybe you're needing to just revisit where Saturn is in your chart. Maybe something is being activated with Saturn in your chart. Have a look at where your personal placement of Saturn is. The transiting Saturn in your chart is in your 4th house, which will be quite present around the time of the annual solar eclipse and also the full moon. It is making some positive angles to a lot of the personal planets in the chart. It's making this grand water trine with your 12th, 8th, and 4th houses. So really deeply transforming you in a way to do with your finances and maybe your health and mental health and working behind the scenes in a way. So have a look at where Saturn is setting you up for the long term and where that is happening for you on your personal chart based on your Saturn sign. So all up for you, Sagittarius rising. There's a focus on working behind the scenes, of revisiting your hopes, dreams and wishes, and maybe your connection with new groups or communities in your life. Some sort of challenging energy to do with your finances, how you make your money, and also to do with your what lights you up, brings you joy, maybe a romantic partnership in your life, and just some communication and expression happening behind the scenes that you're needing to keep under wraps until it's ready, truly ready to put out into the world. Capricorn and Capricorn rising. This energy of October will be happening throughout your 10th, your 11th, your 6th house and your 4th house. So at the beginning of the month, there could be some conversations, insights, downloads, or intuitive hits to do with your career and public reputation that come through to you, especially around the Cazimi happening on the 1st of the month, and then the annual solar eclipse happening on the 3rd of the month. So whatever is happening here in this very public area of your life, that's going to start manifesting and coming to fruition towards the beginning of next year. Then on the 9th of October, Jupiter will be stationing retrograde in your Gemini 6th house. So there could be feeling like there's been a lot of busyness with work, busyness with your co-workers maybe, or busyness to do with your health and well-being in some way. Something has been quite busy and expansive here for you, so maybe things are starting to feel like they're slowing down or maybe stagnating in some way. Maybe opportunities that would be coming through in abundance for you are starting to just slow down and maybe take a back seat. You need to just revisit what is truly of priority for you and taking on what feels right, what feels in priority, what feels really good, rather than just saying yes to everything. Then on the 12th of October, Pluto will station direct in your Capricorn first house. So whatever has been coming up over these last few weeks with Pluto being in your Capricorn first house will likely be coming to a close. This final purge and transformation to do with your physical sense of self, who you are. You're likely not the same person that you were when Pluto did move into your first house around 2008. You're finally wrapping up that transformative energy, readying yourself for this next cycle when Pluto moves into your Aquarius second house. Then on the 14th of October, Mercury will move into your Scorpio 11th house. Maybe you're ready to have those conversations or really look at deeply into your hopes, dreams and wishes, or your connection with your communities in a way, and really aligning yourself with people that want to go deep and be intimate with you in terms of how you communicate and express yourself and your ideas, and really connecting with those that help light you up and inspire you on a really deep level. Then on the 18th of October, there will be a full moon happening in your 10th and 4th houses, bringing to a culmination point something to do with your work and home and family life. Maybe there's something that you're needing to separate or remove yourself from. Maybe you're ready to remove yourself from a relationship that could have been holding you back in some way. Something very personal is being deeply transformed here. A part of yourself or a part of your contractual agreements or something, or your some sort of contract here or some sort of relationship here is coming to maybe coming up to the surface that needs to be worked through, that you need to maybe remove parts of remove or change or shift in some way. There's some sort of culmination point happening here that is coming to the surface. It is likely going to be quite triggering and quite challenging, or quite something that you just need to observe in a way that you need to find that balance and that harmony to do with your work and public life, with your home and family life, with your sense of self and your contracts. Maybe you're taking on too much, putting yourself out there too much, and just really needing to dial it back a little bit and focus on what is really truly important for you. Then on the 18th of October, Venus will be moving into your Sagittarius 12th house. So there could be some workings behind the scenes. So there could be some finances that you're needing to unexpectedly spend, or something's coming to a close, something's coming to an end. Maybe some sort of relationship you're keeping hidden or sort of keeping wrapped up behind the scenes at the moment until you're ready to put that out into the universe, put that out into the public sphere. So something is coming behind the scenes that maybe you're investing in things in private, maybe you're investing in your health or your mental well-being in some way. Then on the 23rd of October, the Sun will move into your Scorpio 11th house, really illuminating and emphasizing you to pay attention and put your energy into relationships that light you up on this deeply personal level, really able to connect with people or connect with your hopes, dreams and wishes in a way that is really deep, is really transformative, is really opening yourself up to a more deeper connection to what lights you up rather than it being surface level, really getting to the depths of why you're wanting to do this, why you're wanting to achieve these goals, why you're wanting to work towards this thing, if there's something coming up for you here. So let's have a look at what the Oracle cards have in store for you, Capricorn and Capricorn rising. Fire element desire. So if you have personally fire placements in your chart, if you don't, maybe you're needing to lean into this creative, inspirational energy. Maybe you're just needing some more fire energy in your life. Maybe you're needing to feel a bit more passionate about things. Maybe you're needing to go out there and just take charge of things, right, rather than sitting back and letting them happen. Likely not an energy that you are really embodying, Capricorn rising, but there could be a lot of need to harness this fire energy within your chart in a really positive, energetic way. Focus on maybe your 12th house, 4th house, or 8th house. Your 4th house is going to be quite activated this month, so this could be this push to really invest in your home and family life. Maybe something is coming up here for you. But looking at fire element energy, where can you get out in the sun more? Where can you bring more warmth into your life, more heat, more passion into your life this month, Capricorn rising? So all up for you, Capricorn rising. This will be a very public reputation, focusing on your career type of energy, a focus on your hopes, dreams and wishes and your connection with your community. Maybe there's some challenges coming up with your work and family and home life that need to just be overcome and moved on from. And then also a sense of self and kind of wrapping up that final pass of Pluto through your first house this month. So Aquarius and Aquarius rising, this energy of October will be happening throughout your 9th house, your 10th house, your 12th house, and also your 5th house. So at the beginning of the month, there will be a focus on your 9th house of travel, of overseas connections, of higher law and study, with this Mercury Cazimi and annual solar eclipse happening in your 9th house on the 1st and 3rd of October. So pay attention. Are you wanting to invest in traveling overseas? Are you wanting to call in more opportunities? Are you wanting to let go of some sort of study or higher study or legal issues coming up for you right now that you're ready to finally close off, move on and heal from? So pay attention to what is coming up, as this will likely manifest into the year ahead. And then on the 9th of October, Jupiter will station retrograde in your Gemini 5th house. So there could be this slowing down of this abundance, of this creative energy in your life. There could just be a needing to slow down and really just look at things as a quality over quantity. Maybe you're wanting to take your time and slow down. Maybe things are starting, there's over an abundance of romantic suitors in your life. Maybe things are just going too fast and too overwhelming, that is starting to slow down and feel like things are just like taking a bit of a backseat. Maybe you are feeling like your luck is sort of on the back foot. So just know that if you are feeling like this will pass when Jupiter does station direct in the next few months. On the 12th of October, Pluto will station direct in your Capricorn 12th house. So this deeply psychological, transformative work that you have been doing over these past almost 20 years is finally coming to a close, finally wrapping up, ready for you to move on finally into this next 20-year cycle when Pluto does move into your first house of self. Then on the 14th of October, Mercury will move into your Scorpio 10th house, really emphasizing this need to focus on or communicate or express yourself in a deeply authentic way when it comes to your work and your public reputation. Maybe you're calling in work opportunities or connections with people, or to be seen in a way that feels deeply vulnerable, or you're able to be more vulnerable, or calling in opportunities to be more vulnerable in a way that feels really authentic to you. Then on the 18th of October, there will be a full moon happening in your 3rd and 9th houses that will likely feel quite triggering, that will be coming and bringing up to the surface some sort of transformative, challenging energy to do with maybe your health and well-being, to do with your work and daily routines. Maybe there is some sort of letting go or finally wrapping up some sort of health issue or some sort of health thing that has been coming up for you, in order to maybe help you broaden your horizons, or finally take that trip overseas, or get out of your own way and calling in opportunities to broaden your mindset and perspective in some way, shape or form. Venus will also then move into your Sagittarius 11th house from the 18th of October onwards. Beautiful opportunity to really invest in your hopes, dreams and wishes in the communities that you want to be a part of. Maybe you're able to meet a romantic partnership or meet a friendship or form a relationship with someone in your networking or social circles. This is a wonderful energy for networking. Then on the 23rd of October, the Sun will move into your Scorpio 10th house, again emphasizing this need to focus on your career in a way that feels really authentic and being vulnerable with yourself and the work that you're putting out there, letting people in to that vulnerable side of you and being really passionate and driven to really investigate and research an area. Maybe you have been wrapping up a research project and are able to maybe finally share that with the world. So let's have a look at what the cards have in store for you, Aquarius and Aquarius rising. That was quick. Mars, awesome. Mars, force. So obviously Mars being quite a big player this month in all of the aspects and angles that it's making to quite personal planets and personal placements. If you have Mars in Cancer, this will be your Mars return. If you have Mars in Capricorn, you will be really feeling this energy. Or if you have any Cancer placements personally, you will be feeling this Mars energy quite prominently. So Mars is all about passion, it's about drive, it's about energy, it's also inflammation and separation. So Mars could be quite a big energy for you this month, just really listening to and understanding areas in life that you need to separate yourself from, areas that light you up and inspire you. So really leaning into that energy this month. So all up for you, Aquarius rising. This will be a month of focusing on your career, your public reputation, some shifts, changes and challenges to do with maybe travel, study, local community or extended family in some way. There is finally some transformation wrapping up happening to do with your subconscious 12th house, to do with your mental health or your physical health in some way. So maybe some challenges or inflammation or changes or separation to do with maybe work, your health, your well-being or your daily routines. Changing this up and shifting this up in a way that helps you feel inspired in some way. So for Pisces and Pisces rising, this energy of October will be happening throughout your 8th house, your 9th house, and also your 4th house, 2nd house, and your 11th house. At the beginning of the month, there will be some insights and downloads and intuitive energy to do with your 8th house and how you make your money, other people's money, debt or inheritances, and your intimate connection to your finances. So something is coming up here. Maybe you're wanting to call in a new stream of income that feels more aligned with you, feels more aligned with your values, and just aligned with you in a way that it hasn't before. So maybe you're letting go of old streams of income or old ways that you make your money. Something is showing up for you tangibly here next year, but this is to do with how you make your money and your finances in some way. Then on the 9th of October, Jupiter will be stationing retrograde in your 4th house of home and family. So you maybe have felt there's a lot going on with your home and family life this past year, but this is starting to slow down. Maybe all these opportunities or just a lot of go happening in your home and family life. Maybe you are changing up or shifting up, or a lot of opportunities to do with home. Maybe you're looking to buy a home, or there's been a lot of luck in terms of searching for a place to live. Maybe you're starting to feel like that is starting to slow down. So just know that this will start to pick up again once Jupiter does station direct, but this is likely slowing down for you to really take your time and take your time choosing rather than having abundance of options. Maybe you're just sort of looking at the really good quality options rather than all the quantity of options that have been available for you. Then on the 12th of October, Pluto will be stationing direct in your Capricorn 11th house. So this deep transformative energy, this purging of maybe old relationships or hopes, dreams and wishes that feel no longer aligned with you anymore is finally coming to an end. You're finally wrapping up this area in life for you, which has been transformed over the past almost 20 years, readying you for this next cycle of Pluto moving into your 12th house towards the end of this year for the next 20 years. Then on the 14th of October, Mercury will be moving into your Scorpio 9th house. So maybe you're having these connections and these conversations with people from a foreign culture that is helping you broaden your mindset and your horizons in some way. Maybe you're able to feel a bit more vulnerable in sharing or speaking up or tuning in or taking on some study that you're really interested in investigating or researching around. Maybe you're reading ready to finally take that on board. Then on the 18th of October, the full moon will be happening in your 2nd and 8th houses. So again, a massive influence and emphasis on your financial axis. Something is coming up here. How you make your money, is it aligned with what brings you joy, what lights you up, and your hopes, dreams, and wishes? Is the way that you're financing your life aligned with what also lights you up? It's about finding that balance and overcoming those challenges and separating yourself maybe from relationships that could be causing a trigger or a challenge for you in this way, maybe separating yourself from hobbies or interests that no longer align with you any longer. There's something that's coming up here around the time of this full moon. Venus will also be moving into your Sagittarius 10th house on the 18th, which is a wonderful energy for calling in new work contracts, work contractual agreements, just work and putting yourself out there in general. You're likely going to be feeling like a lot of people have got their eyes on you in a good way. You're likely feeling there's a lot of attention on you, or maybe just a big emphasis on your career and public reputation towards the end of this month. Then on the 23rd of October, the sun will be moving into your Scorpio 9th house. So again, this focus on researching, on study, on travel. Maybe you're wanting to research and plan an overseas trip. Maybe this is the time where you're like, I'm finally going to put some time and energy aside to really look into this, or just connecting with people that help you maybe understand, research, and take interest in learning about a different culture in some way. So let's have a look at what the oracle cards have in store for you, Pisces and Pisces rising. Seventh house of partners. Now, your 7th house is Virgo, and Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So Mercury is really heavily involved in a lot of this astrological energy this month, as it usually is, but it is really involved in the Mercury Cazimi at the beginning of the month and the annual solar eclipse at the beginning of the month. Along with ingressing into your 9th house, Mercury will be an important planet to maybe pay attention to this month. So pay attention to those insights or downloads, as they will likely be to do with your contractual agreements and your one-to-one agreements and your relationships in your life, because it is also to do with how you make your money too. So pay attention to what's coming up here. Maybe your relationships in your life will give you the key to understanding and deciphering this energy that could be coming through to you at the beginning of the month with this Mercury Cazimi. So all up for you, Pisces rising. This will be a month of focusing on your finances, what lights you up and brings you joy, your connection with your friendships, your community and your circles in your life, your relationship circles in your life, maybe investing in some study or some travel, or really researching a new travel or holiday that you want to plan, and also a focus on your home and family life, and maybe slowing things down a little bit this month and into the rest of the year.